Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saturn Slam Review. Day late and a dollar short, but we're bringing you all your hot action from the week that was in professional wrestling.
Cooled to a temperate lukewarm for
Yeah,
your baby's ingestion.
big,
Put the wrestling on your wrist so you know it's the right temperature.
big news coming out of the New Beginning show, New Japan. Jay White defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi to become the new IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So Tanahashi's reign lasted all of a month.
What a career.
Well, that was
What a
like his
man.
eighth reign with the IWGP title. So he has had quite the career. But yeah, that's big-ish news. Also, the storyline. We figured out how they're going to get Charlotte Flair in the WrestleMania main event. And it's by
Did
just
I miss something silly?
adding her. So here's what happened. The past week or so, they ran angles with Becky slapping Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, and they came out on Raw and they're like, "We want an apology, or you're not going to wrestle at WrestleMania." And the whole show is built around, will Becky Lynch apologize? In the end, she does. And then Vince McMahon trots his corpse out and says, "I'm not accepting your apology. You're suspended for 60 days, which will last until 5 days after WrestleMania, and you're going to be replaced with Charlotte Flair." So, yeah, she was literally just handpicked to be in the match. So I'm sure the story is going to be Becky somehow earns her way back into the match. But, man, this really should be a single. The only
Yeah,
reason they'd put Charlotte in there is so they can say Charlotte Flair was one of the first women to main event WrestleMania.
I can hear Stephanie McMahon now. She made history. It's the first whatever you just said.
First, insert accomplishment, no matter how minor here.
Or just completely made up.
She became the first woman to butter toast in the dark.
The first woman to win by submission in the WWE. Just
Asuka?
nonsense.
Yeah, we're gonna crown our first ever women's tag team champions at Elimination Chamber, despite the Jumping Bomb Angels and all the other women's tag team champions from the 70s.
70s don't exist anymore. You hear that, Vince? You're gone. You're out of here. I'll knock you out like a truck coming at you, like a collision. Worlds colliding. The Worlds Collide tournament. By free association, the show continues.
Halftime Heat. Did you watch Halftime Heat?
I did watch Halftime Heat. Let's talk about that first, and then I'll give a little rundown of the Worlds Collide tournament.
Halftime Heat was good. They had like 15, maybe 20 minutes with entrances, and they did a million moves. If you don't like moves matches, you probably wouldn't have liked this, but in terms of we're going to try to show an audience what NXT is all about in 15 minutes, I thought this did its job very well. Everyone did a lot of stuff. They were working hard, but they were also, you could tell, just having fun with it. Adam Cole hit a Panama Sunrise at one point in this match, so I guess the Canadian Destroyer's okay to use in WWE now.
Yeah. What was that? What was it? The Steel Eagle? What was that they were talking about? Was that in this match?
Steel Eagle? I don't recall.
I think maybe they talked about it right before you hit the Panama Sunrise. Maybe I was confusing them. Yeah, yeah, good match. Weird production values on this because I think all the A team for their camera crew and the other performance center folks were taking today off for the Super Bowl, or not today, that day off for
Yeah.
the Super Bowl because the color first. The thing I noticed, the color grade between different cameras was noticeably different. That was the first thing that stuck out to me. Um, the colors themselves were a little strange, and of course, it did seem like the crowd was canned, even though we saw Bald Mark Man there. So,
Yeah, I guess it was friends and family of the wrestlers. Essentially, what happened was they had a giant Super Bowl party at the Performance Center, and in the middle of it, we're like, let's have a wrestling match. So that's what happened. They've taped it from the Performance Center. It looked fine. It definitely, like you said, was, you could tell it wasn't Full Sail, but in terms of making it look like a actual venue, they did a pretty good job of it. And crowd was they were excitable, but it was strange because you could tell that they weren't your typical fans because Adam Cole got booed. And he had a huge smile on his face when he got booed. He's like, yes, finally, I'm getting booed for being a heel.
This is the world I was supposed to live in.
I have breached back forth from Bizarro Land. But yeah, it was a fun match.
Bizarro Land.
It was a fun match. Entertaining babyfaces went over. And fun was had by all. And from what all the fucking complaints I heard about the actual Super Bowl halftime show, it seems like that was the correct decision to make.
Yes, having seen both, I preferred halftime heat for sure. Although it's good to be in on the controversy. I guess not even controversy, just the shittiness. Shitty.
That's all was on Reddit was like, oh, they didn't play Sweet Victory. I'm like, who gives a fuck? It's not, that song isn't even from SpongeBob. It was a song that existed for years before it was ever on that show.
So here's the thing. I think they would have been less outraged if they didn't play Sweet Victory. What they did was they played the clip that's like, that sort of sounded like an introduction. There's like, you're gonna love this next, and it was a SpongeBob clip. And then Sicko Mode started playing. Yeah. I didn't know it was Sicko Mode because I've never heard that song, but I'm like, some SoundCloud rapper came out and he started swearing, and they had to bleep it live on the tape delay. And I'm like, I looked at my buddies at the Super Bowl party, and we're like, this doesn't seem like the right thing for a public venue. And now I know that it was terrible. But next, something that wasn't terrible was the Worlds Collide tournament. 5 men from each of the different Triple H promotions.
All the
I'm presuming
H
five for each H.
5 per H was the quota.
In what I think was one of the most smartly designed new pay-per-view styles in recent times. As everyone knows, Triple H loves his fucking tournaments. My God. Like, that's half of his events is like, you got the Mae Young Classic, you got the Dusty Rhodes tag team, you got that 4-way for the first NXT championship.
Yeah, who's it? The fucking 2 UK tournaments.
Yeah. Man loves a good tournament. So he's naturally fairly good at, with enough experience, he's pretty good at making these things happen. And what I liked because this was 3 different promotions coming together for just like, there's really nothing established. So the way that he did the first thing he did before even the tournament started was like an amazing jump starter. It was a 15-man battle royale match, and the winner, like, you got ordered by how you placed.
Okay, you got seeded by elimination.
Yeah, although it wasn't seeded, it was like the first one out was number 16, the second one out was number 15, and they fought each other, or they matched against each other, which doesn't make sense with seeding, but that's okay. I'll take it because it means you get the same time to rest between matches, and the winner gets a bye. So Jordan Devlin got the bye, and this part I saw, the full tournament was on YouTube, and the thing I'm sure was like 6 hours long. It was, they did just the whole thing in one stretch. But they showed 4 hours. I saw the highlight show where they just picked like one or two matches from each one. Um, and they were all solid because it's all, this wasn't the dregs of the promotions. This was, Gulak, Carrillo, Velveteen Dream, Adam Cole, TJP, Cedric Alexander, like Tyler
Real
Bate,
dudes.
real dudes. And it was this, sort of the sweet cross promotion deal. And it got down to, suffice to say, stuff happens in the tournament. Jordan Devlin doing the heel thing. The two matches I want to talk about quick are just him and Velveteen Dream, and then the finals. So Velveteen Dream's whole story was that he got shot. He got a big rib shot by Carrillo in the last match. So he walks on. He's like, I can't. He had to sell his chest for the whole match. And Jordan Devlin, being a heel, is like, of course I will
target that chest. Yeah.
So that was the whole story of the match. And Velveteen Dream was just like, we shall overcome.
Right. Black History Month.
Black History Month. Yeah. And then he wins. And then the final, he moves on to wrestle against Tyler Bate, who had won against Adam Cole. And I think they also showed that match. And that match was also very good because Adam Cole, Tyler Bate.
Sounds good to me on paper.
And Velveteen Dream, Tyler Bate was a fantastic, I would say, 4.5-star match where you had to continue, even more than before, was Dream having to defy the odds, babyface in peril, even though this was a face-face match, Yeah. So they really pushed each other to the end. It was a nice long endurance. They had nothing left in the tank ever afterwards, but Velveteen Dream got the victory. And then they hugged. And I'm like, yes, good wrestling.
Yeah.
And then he showed up to NXT.
Yes.
The winner got a choice of whatever championship they wanted anywhere on these 3 promos.
Which leads nicely into NXT, as the show opened with the new North American champion Johnny Gargano cutting a promo, total babyface to start the promo, saying that, this was our moment, speaking of him and the fans. They chanted, "You deserve it." He stopped them and said, "No, we deserve it." Just totally a babyface. And then out came Tommaso Ciampa, who came out to congratulate him, said, "I'm glad you were able to follow the champ's lead. And now that, the end of TakeOver of us holding our titles up showed that it was our time." And Gargano's like, "No, I only came out because I wanted to show that I didn't need you." Etc., etc. Velveteen Dream comes out, calls Tommaso Ciampa Gollum, clutching his precious. I laughed heartily at that. And he proclaims that as the winner of the Worlds Collide tournament, he gets a title shot for any title of his choosing. And he teases like he's going to wrestle Ciampa again. He says, "I don't want your title. I want the North American title," which I'm torn. On one hand, it makes the North American title look like a big deal. On the other hand, it makes the NXT title look like not so big a deal. And there's a pecking order that these titles should have.
Mm-hmm. Although that's a nifty idea. I don't know if it should be on NXT, but a twin title sort of thing. It's it's borderline experimental.
So Dream gets in Gargano's face. Gargano starts threatening him, acting kind of heelish. By the end of the promo, he's a total heel. So Johnny Gargano is an interesting character. He's the shade of gray, as it were. So that proves that sometimes that can work. You can't do it with every character. There need to be defined faces and heels, but you can have a couple people who are kind of nebulous somewhere in between.
Right in the line.
Yeah.
Who doesn't ride the line?
So I've heard I had possibly the outcome of this match, the North American title match, spoiled for me, but apparently they shot a finish for both scenarios.
Oh.
So I think they did this. They either did it as a Bandersnatch style choose your own adventure thing, or
they just fracture reality through the power of kayfabe,
or they did it to make it so the live audience couldn't spoil the title change. I'm not sure which. My inkling is that Gargano, the real ending is Gargano retains, because I think it's too soon to take the belt off of him. But we shall see. Jackson Riker defeated Mansoor.
Mansoor. Oh, was this? No, wait. No, that's the next match. Is my favorite man. My favorite new addition.
Really, the star of this whole show. Like, once we talk about him, like, that's all there is to mention. That's the most newsworthy thing that happened that week. But Jackson Riker, of the Forgotten Sons, he is far and away the most. He has the most of something out of all of them. I remember when he was Gunner in TNA, and when he first showed up, everyone was really talking him up, and then I didn't hear about him for a while, so I'm not sure what happened there. But he has some ability, and he looked impressive here in the squash match. But like, being in this act is doing him no favors. The other two are just so forgettable.
Yeah. They're really trying. Like, they're really pushing for it. And I'm seeing like marginal gains, but really
there's just nothing about the act that stands out, though. They just wrestle. The tag team wrestles, and they're not very good. And then Gunner mostly stands on the outside with his crazy eyes. And eventually he'll get in there and do something, and then it's kind of entertaining. But like, I don't know. They're not. They've got the Lacey Evans heat for me, where it's like, why are you taking up television time that could go to a more entertaining act?
Yeah. I think they just need a hook. Like, they said, I'm reading the thing here. It says they're doing their Do Unto Others tour, or like they're having a Do Unto Others thing going on. I never see that. I just don't see that expressed in like their promos.
They don't get promo time to begin with. They're mostly just out there wrestling, and the wrestling isn't enough. Like, they don't tell any sort of perceivable story with the wrestling. Like, Do Unto Others, what the fuck does that even mean? Tell me what the fuck that means. Have them cut a promo where they explain what the fuck that means.
Yeah, they need a rivalry, a feud.
They need something. They've been building them up for long enough. I don't know who the fuck you feud them with. My first inclination would have been Heavy Machinery, but they're on the main roster now.
Is TM61 still around?
No.
They're great. I would be like, yeah, they're great for throwing a feud if you just need to like get their attention.
No, Nick Miller was released, and I think Shane Thorne is injured.
What about Matt Riddle and Keith Lee? Just as like I know it wouldn't be
That's so below Matt Riddle and Keith Lee to be involved. That's how you kill him dead. Get him in a program with the Forgotten Sons. I legitimately don't know.
I want Breezango to come over.
I mean, I guess you could do Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch.
Yeah.
I'd rather see them do
still a stretch.
Anything else, but you gotta do something with these fucking Forgotten Sons.
Can't I almost say, all right, hear me out on this. It's gonna sound wild, but I say move them up to the main roster like now. Let me finish and just let them be assimilated into the background of the Wyatt family. They can just be Wyatt goons.
I don't think there's a Wyatt family anymore. Like, Daniel Bryan adopted Eric Rowan, and we'll see what they do with Luke Harper.
When was the last time we saw Bray wrestle?
It's been a long time. Like,
his last feud was with
since he and Matt Hardy
Woken.
lost the tag titles.
Yeah,
that was the last time he wrestled.
Shit.
Yeah, he's been a victim of creative has nothing for you.
Go do house shows. Well, I
But
look forward
anyway,
to seeing him on AEW.
uh, let's talk about the real main event of the evening here.
Yes,
And that
charisma
is
star.
not even this match, just this one man, Eric
Yeah.
Bugenhagen.
Eric Bugenhagen. Like the kind of man we would dream up at the dorm after a bowl is this wrestler.
Eric Bugenhagen is like just a walking ball of he was over from the second he came out of the curtain playing his air guitar. He looks like a jacked up 80s rocker with a 70s porn mustache, and he comes out,
Handlebar mustache.
he plays his air guitar, he plays his air drums, he gets in the ring, he uses the ropes for his air keyboard, he screams the high notes. I mean, hey, so like this was a total squash. He wrestled Drew Gulak, who apparently may be on NXT now. We're not sure. But like the dude has something. Like apparently he has an amateur wrestling background. He's got a good physique. He's apparently has a YouTube channel where he does bodybuilding advice. So like if he has, I don't know how far he's going to get with his gimmick, but he has like the charisma, and maybe the other tools are in place for him to actually amount to something. He could turn into a big star, or he could turn into the next Adam Rose. I can't say for sure which is going to happen now, but what a fucking debut.
I know. He's leaving us starving for more. We're thirsty for the next match of this man's career.
Give me more Bugenhagen.
We all hope, as Kurt and I've discussed, is a Eric Bugenhagen versus Hornswoggle Say My Name match.
Yes, that's. I mean, they brought Swoggle back into the fold for the Royal Rumble. If he has another appearance left on his deal, make that match happen. What better way to give Mr. Bugenhagen a easy win here?
Yeah, but this was a 1.5 match part of the card, because right after Gulak won,
yeah, he tapped him out with the Gulak, and then he cut a promo about how he comes all the way to NXT and they give him Ben Stiller from Dodgeball. I laughed heartily at that. He issues an open challenge to anyone in the back to come in and face him, and Matt Riddle comes out and says, "You best be leaving NXT or I'll come in there and tap you out of it." To which Gulak responds with, "Make my day." And Matt Riddle says, "You've chosen wisely." Like he's the fucking ghost at the end of The Last Crusade.
Oh, this was.
And then they had a fucking amazing match.
Yeah, I was gonna say this was a Grail match. Just a nice, just beautiful groundwork all around. They're like, we haven't done a ground match, submission match in a while.
If you're a fan of like technical wrestling, if you absolutely love like Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle at the Royal Rumble, or Chris Benoit and William Regal at like Judgment Day 04, I think that pay-per-view was, like you will love this match. This match was a clinic of mat-based work. They traded submissions. Everything looked really good. There was just it was a refreshing change of pace from your normal NXT match. Not that there's a problem with the normal NXT match. It just, variety is the spice of life, and this was certainly something different. Riddle won after bashing Gulak's head in with some elbow strikes before locking in the Bro Mission for the win. When the match was over, they shook hands. There was no attack afterward. So unfortunately, it looks like this may be it for this. I wouldn't mind seeing another one of these, but it looks like for right now that's going to be it.
Yeah, it's fine too. We all want more, but it's always good when you get them. Like when Fandango came back, or is it
Breeze.
Tyler Breeze? Wrong half there. Yeah, when Tyler Breeze just came back for a match, and we're just like, okay. It's like the ice cream man just comes around your street once, and you're like, he'll never be back. But it's good to
Tyler
have you.
Breeze looks so happy back in NXT. Dude was about to cry.
He's like, I'm home.
Um,
Chewy, we're home.
there
And
was
then the
one
main
other
event.
match, unfortunately. It was not as good. It was a 6-woman tag between Bianca Belair, Kairi Sane, Io Shirai versus 3/4 of the 4 horsewomen. Baszler is good. Shafir is passable for a level of her experience, and Jessamine Duke is a deer in the fucking headlights. She has no clue what the fuck she's doing in there, and it shows. And the sad part about it is that Shafir's the one getting chance of you can't wrestle when she's in there. Like, of the two, she's the one that can sort of wrestle.
But NXT's crowd.
Yeah.
Well, which one were they doing? Where they just started? Was that the beginning of this show where they were just like they would immediately like hot potato back and forth between who they were booing and cheering?
I don't remember, but that sounds like a Full Sail thing to do.
They're just, as in the words of Daniel Bryan,
Fickle. um, Bianca Belair had some interesting Black History Month tights. This match was fine. The horsewoman mostly got the heat on Kairi Sane, who made some hot tags. Every time the baby faces would go for a cover on Baszler, the other two would come and break up the pin, including when Belair hit the KOD. The pin was broken up. Shirai tagged herself in, hit the moonsault, and got the pin on Baszler, which I guess is to set up a title match between the two of them. They tease some tension between Belair and Shirai, but for fuck's sake, they just turned Belair babyface. Let's not go and turn her heel
I don't think
right back.
Yeah, I don't know as much as it was tension against Shirai because I'm also reading the official like the WWE report and they don't mention anything like that. It's more just like she was just like disappointed that she didn't get the pin, so maybe that's another match coming up.
It looked like I could see them wrestling for a number one contendership, but it looked like she felt that the pin was stolen from her because she didn't tag Shirai in. Shirai tagged herself in. Classic build dissension in the ranks move there.
Yes. Okay.
But I don't know. We'll see.
I'll defer to experience because
I just
Triple H
hope they
does.
don't like fucking do the real quick switcheroo again because I think Belair is probably better suited as a babyface.
Yeah. In a how's the women's roster on baby faces, right? I remember us saying that there was like it was getting a little short there for a while.
It's the Sky Pirates, Bianca Belair, Dakota Kai, who's injured, Candice LeRae, who hasn't wrestled in a long time, and I think that's it. Tanera Conti is a heel. Baszler and the Horsewoman are heels. Who the fuck else do they have down there? I think the women's division's looking pretty thin these days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Deanna Pratt wasn't wrestling much.
I think she either turned heel or is a heel last time she wrestled in NXT UK.
Okay. Oh, okay, she's over there. Mia Yim's in here.
I don't know what the fuck Mia Yim is. I think she's a baby face.
They can make her either one real easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's just a little thin right
Xia
now. They got
Li is
this.
in there a little bit. Like she hasn't had a match on
Xia
NXT television, but she I think is a babyface. She was a babyface in the Rumble. That doesn't mean much, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it's pretty even. But the roster's looking a little thin. They need to start having some undercard matches with some of these less experienced girls.
hmm
Try to
I
build
think
up
how they're
more of
doing it
the
right now, they
division.
can get along because if they just have the one match, if they're doing the one match out of every card, um, it's fine if they can take just one or two feuds and run with them for a while. But yes, as we go on, they definitely need some fresh blood.
Because once you call Shayna Baszler up, which I gotta think is coming soon, what the fuck do you do?
hmm
The division's
Oh,
been built around her for like 14 months.
Nikki Cross is still in NXT, yeah.
No, she got called up.
Oh, good. Okay, right, good. And so she can have her
Her and
career
Lacey
parallel to
Evans.
Sanity.
Well, she's been on TV, so she's already got a leg up on the rest of Sanity.
Yeah, maybe they'll be calling in for spots, but yeah. How's Lacey? What is Lacey Evans? Kind of life is she living on the main roster?
She's just disappeared. I think they took one look at how she did in the Royal Rumble and were like, "You are not fucking ready."
Nope. Good. Dreams came true on that one. So
All
I
right, so
think
that
that.
was this episode of NXT. We got another one in the can. We'll have it up for you at some point. Um, we'll have to do some. Our normal recording day is being usurped by Valentine's Day.
Oh,
So
that is true. But this week we need to do a regular show, and we're also maybe. Do we care about Elimination Chamber?
I don't think we'll do a formal review. I think we'll just recap it um, before the episode.
Okay,
Like we
that's
do,
fair.
like we when we do our news. I think that's how we'll do B pay-per-views. Is we'll just do a quick overview, because that way we don't have to. I don't have to sit and
Yeah,
watch it all in one sitting.
and
I can do it
and
at my
then do a
leisure.
Tuesday review.
Yeah,
Screw that.
because
Okay.
I get up far too early in the morning to stay up till midnight watching a usually pretty bad wrestling show.
Yeah. All right.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you all next week. Until then, take care, be well, stay safe.
Eat your greens. Stay in your greens. Plant a garden. Become a tree. Get the fuck out of my sight.